Could act as a family in court.
Airfares are going up, and the reason is the war in Iran. The price of oil has risen dramatically, with it products like jet fuel, which has doubled. Delta estimates it'll spend more than $100 million more on aviation fuel, and that has to be passed on to the passengers, you and me, in the form of higher ticket prices. There's an interesting twist in the tale. Hedging. It's complicated financial arrangements where airlines buy their fuel now for the future. So the price is set. Unfortunately, whilst some airlines have done a lot of hedging, US carriers have not done that much. And so almost immediately they are being hit, and in some cases hard. How far, how fast, and how long these prices will go on rising, no one can tell, because it's all dependent on how long the war lasts. Airfares are...
A would-be thief almost got away with more than 400 gallons of stolen diesel from this family-owned gas station here in Lodi, but gas station owners say an alert customer was actually able to catch it and stop it.
Airlines are starting to add fuel surcharges to ticket prices. It's a sign of how the war against Iran is spreading. NPR's Bill Chappell reports average jet fuel price up significantly compared to the last year.
The 75% jump is a huge spike in one of the air carriers' biggest expenses, and their customers will eventually absorb some of that increase, says Sean Cudahy of the PointsGuy website.
Consumers purchasing tickets for the summer will likely feel it. It's just a matter of when and how significant.
He recommends locking in an airfare now and making sure you can change the ticket.
You can also set alerts so you get an alert every time the price changes.
But Cudahy adds for international travel, with thousands of flights canceled since the war started, it can be tough to avoid airline hubs in the Middle East, which are some of the busiest in the world.
Gas prices.
Hey everybody, welcome back. SpinCycle. I'm looking at gas prices again today and fuel prices. I'm getting ready to fly abroad, so it's interesting to me personally. If it is to you, go ahead and comment. How much did you pay for your plane ticket? How much are you paying at the pump? Let's keep scrolling. And if you're new here, go ahead and subscribe, guys, and thanks for watching. Hello. What is that? Ivan Andrew. How are you? I got 2 likes, thank you. I just see 1 there, but okay. Subscribe, it's more important to me. Watch some of my pre-recorded videos and that stuff. But thanks for liking.
KFC, this is Patrick Talbot here in Oklahoma City at the Oklahoma City Farm Show. Tons of farmers from all over the state of Oklahoma making their way to the state fairgrounds to come check out what they've got going on here right now. We had a chance to speak with a couple of farmers.
Higher petrol prices will add to inflation, but they're not the reason for today's decision. Inflation was...
The AI is literally trading for me right now. I put in $20 a month ago and walked away.
Yeah, I know you guys see these Finello AI trading commercials everywhere. It's total bullshit, just as a side note here. Not really my subject for the day, but we could do a subject. You guys interested in that? You got any of you guys traders? Let's check out X, see what they're saying about fuel price in the US. I assume most people are concerned with the US, but maybe not. And the Epstein files. We are here to expose every official account for the Epstein files, okay? U.S. removes sanctions on 140 million barrels of Iranian oil as Trump seeks to lower gas prices. So Trump's actually, yeah, I saw this morning, if you guys didn't see that. They're lowering prices on Iranian oil so they can get oil to the world. All right, 26 watches. Go ahead and subscribe, guys. So they could get oil to the world. They're taking away sanctions on Iranian oil so the Iranians can make more money to use against us in the war. This is the epitome of the Trump administration not planning ahead of time for the war, not gaming out what was actually going to happen when you start bombing Iran, and a total sociopathic narcissist like Trump who thinks he's a king just saying one night, okay, and this, of course, at the behest of Netanyahu, okay, let's go bomb Iran tonight. Hi, Gregory, how are you? Thanks for saying hi. Subscribe, please. I'm almost at 3,000. I think I'm one away from 3,000 subscribers. That would be great to get 3,000 today. 1 trillion wiped out from the U.S. stock market today. So this was Trump's saving grace. Trump's saving grace this whole time has been that the stock market's been up. Remember Pam Bondi and if you watch that hearing with Congress, why are we talking about Epstein when the Dow is 50,000? Well, now it's 45,000 as of today. So trillions wiped from the U.S. stock market. I need a drink of water. My throat's a little dry. My Yeti water bottle. Best water bottle I've ever owned, you see, because of this. And this screws off. Actually, I have these on my shopping part of the app. Maybe I'll pin them to this video, so if you want to buy one. This is definitely the best water bottle. Yeti. I'm kind of an outdoor guy when I'm not doing this kind of stuff, so I have another channel that's outdoor stuff and travel and all that, and I post my Yeti bottle on those videos because I use it in the videos, but I use it here too. Okay, let's see what they have to say here. 1 trillion wiped out from the U.S. stock market. Oh, that's it. It's just any comments? Break-in. The U.S. S&P 500 extends losses to over minus 2% on the day, erasing 1.1 trillion in market cap. Everyone's selling. Meanwhile, I'm buying the 47th dip this year. Yeah, I mean, if you have the money, the time to buy in the stock market is right now. I mean, it feels risky because, gas is going up, 401ks are going down. But if you have extra cash, which is losing 3% a year, or probably 4% now with inflation, buying stocks today while the stock market's down is the way to go. Or tomorrow when the market opens up again. Or I guess it would be Monday. So you'd have to keep an eye on it. Are we tired of winning yet? These are the comments from this post. 1 trillion is crazy. The country's in debt 30 trillion, so. And Trump wants 200 billion for his war. Build your own software, blah, blah, blah. Pentagon, hexagon, octagon. Trump promised to end wars on day 1. It's week 3. 1.1 trillion gone today alone. The scoreboard doesn't lie. Okay, Iran's 69th wave of true promises. True Promises 4 in the books. U.S. bases Al Salem in Kuwait and Al Khari, Prince Sultan Air Base in Saudi Arabia. Fuel storage for the F-16s and F-35s that are supposed to be flattening Iran. 21 days in. Pretty poor quality video. guess it's gonna hit something. It's obviously a missile. Okay. Holy smokes, Iranian cluster submunitions made numerous direct hits in the Jewish quarter of Jerusalem. Ah, that's what it is. Well, I mean, Israel started this war. Now you bomb a country, you're going to get bombed back. That's just the way it is. A drone attack sparked a fire near U.S. diplomatic facilities at Camp Victory in Baghdad, claimed by Iranian-backed groups, including Asab al-Haq, as NATO withdraws amid rising Middle East tensions and security concerns.
Now, a drone attack has caused a fire near a U.S. diplomatic facility in Baghdad. Victory Base is within the perimeter of the international airport. The area
In
has come
Baghdad.
under repeated attacks since Iraq was drawn into the Middle East conflict. Iranian-backed armed groups have
Thought it was
claimed
Baghdad.
responsibility for previous strikes on the capital. Nicholas Hapt is live first now.
Because the Americans seem to be in their third stage of their offensive, and we can tell that by the types of weapons that they've used. In the first stage of the offensive, when they were actually attacking the air defense systems, dangerous thing to do for an aircraft, easier for a Tomahawk missile, that's what they used. Once they had some power over the land, when they could go over Iran more safely, then they were using Lancer bombers, the B-1Bs, to drop bombs on targets that they were particularly interested in. And now they're drilling down by using the Thunderbolt aircraft like this, the A-10s, which are low and slow, but death to anything on the ground. And the Thunderbolts are ranging up and down the coast of Iran, looking for targets, small boats, installations, missile launches, anything. And that tells us that the Americans...
So just for some numbers for you guys, for how much this war is costing, if you're suffering yourselves with a shortage of cash, the first week of the war, we were spending $1 billion an hour. And now we've cut back, we're spending about $1 billion a day. And the Trump administration just went to Congress asking for $200 billion, which could, if, I don't know what it would be, but if you gave $200 billion just out to the American people instead of starting foreign wars that we have no business being in, how much better off would we be? And I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to call my congressman, which is Joe Neguse, and tell him he better vote against a $200 billion. Because if they're spending $1 billion a day now, they want $200 billion in funding. That means they're planning on keeping this war going till next fall, another 200 days. That's like to the election. I don't know about you guys. Do you want 200 days of war?
Try that again. So what? I have freedom of speech.
We get that. I get that. So we got to make sure that you're not...
Do you have a warrant?
No, that's why we're...
Okay, you see that sign? So that's no soliciting. What you're doing is basically soliciting. You understand that, right? Yeah. It means you're not welcomed here. Okay. Bye.
Whoa, watch where you're walking, Chubby. No idea what this is about. Looked interesting, though.
This is what they're doing, guys. You make comments about the Jews online, they'll fucking show up at your door. This is what they do. This is freedom of speech. This is how much control Israel has over our country.
That's crazy. They came to his house.
Look at this response. For exercising my freedom of speech online. Wow. What a fucking joke. What a fucking joke. Can't wait to do some auditing of you boys. Bye-bye.
Gas was $2, and today gas is $4. You guys, did gasoline go to college and come back with a master's degree in pricing? Oh my God! I came to get gas, and the pump is looking at me like a bank loan officer, asking questions like, "Say, are you ready for this financial decision? What is going on here? Look at gas prices. What is going on here? How are we going to survive? Driving in America is now luxury. Oh my God! How are we going to survive here? How? $4? Oh my God! $4! I
He's not happy about gas prices. Ew.
The world's biggest superpower. Why does the U.S. send $3.8 billion every year to Israel, while Americans struggle with healthcare, housing, and student debt?
I say this all the time. Israelis have free healthcare, and we send them billions of dollars a year.
Why do American presidents, Republican and Democrat alike, all stand in line to promise loyalty to Israel no matter what? And why, even after thousands of dead children in Gaza, does Washington continue to send bombs stamped "Made in USA"? The answer lies in history, politics, money, religion, and power. Today, we're going to connect the dots. Let's start with the numbers. Since World War II, the United States has given over $260 billion in aid to Israel, more than to any other country in the entire world. But this isn't just foreign aid, it's a pipeline, a guaranteed, unstoppable stream of U.S. taxpayer money that flows straight into Israel's military machine. Every year, the U.S. sends $3.8 billion to Israel. That's about $10 million every single day. And where does it go? To fighter jets, to bombs, to tanks, to missile defense systems like the Iron Dome. All of it funded by American taxpayers. Take 2016, for example. Under President Obama, the U.S. signed the largest military aid deal in American history, a $38 billion package over 10 years. Locked in, guaranteed, no matter who sits in the White House. That means while Americans argue about how to pay for healthcare or education, Israel never has to worry about where its next warplane is coming from. Here's the catch. Much of this money never even leaves the U.S. By law, a huge portion of the aid must be spent on American defense companies, giants like Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Raytheon. So Israel gets the weapons, the corporations get the profits, and ordinary Americans, they get the bill. Take the F-35 stealth fighter jet. Each one costs around $80 million. The U.S. has supplied dozens to Israel, making it one of the few countries in the world with access to this next-generation aircraft. Meanwhile, teachers in Detroit buy school supplies out of their own pockets. Or consider Israel's Iron Dome. This missile defense system has received over $2.6 billion in U.S. funding since 2011. That's money that could have rebuilt crumbling U.S. infrastructure, bridges, roads, and water systems that experts say will cost over $2 trillion to repair. While Israel expands its military arsenal, over 500,000 Americans are homeless. While Israeli cities are shielded by U.S.-funded defense systems, tens of millions of Americans live without health insurance. So ask yourself, Why does a nation of 9 million people get unlimited US tax dollars while 330 million Americans are told there's no money for basic needs? This isn't generosity. It's not charity. It's an investment in war, an investment in the military-industrial complex that profits from endless conflict. And behind every dollar, every deal, every jet and missile is a network of politics, lobbying, and influence that keeps this pipeline flowing. So the question is, why? Is this really about strategy? Or is there something far deeper? Money, power, and control driving America's unconditional support for Israel? This is where names matter. One organization stands at the center. AIPAC, the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. For decades, AIPAC has been called the most powerful foreign policy lobby in Washington. Its annual conferences draw thousands of politicians, business leaders, and donors, with U.S. presidents, both Republican and Democrat, showing up to pledge loyalty on stage. But it's not just speeches, it's money. In the 2022 midterms alone, pro-Israel groups poured over $30 million into campaign donations. AIPAC's super PAC, the United Democracy Project, spent millions to defeat candidates who criticized Israel. Even Democrats like Donna Edwards in Maryland or Andy Levin in Michigan, both targeted and beaten after questioning unconditional U.S. aid to Israel. The message is clear. Step out of line and you're gone. Former Congressman Paul Findley once said that voting against Israeli interests is political suicide. He knew firsthand. After serving 22 years in Congress, his career ended once he started questioning U.S. policy toward Israel. And AIPAC isn't alone. There's Christians United for Israel, led by televangelist John Hagee, mobilizing millions of Christian Zionists to pressure Congress. There's the Anti-Defamation League, ADL, presenting itself as a civil rights group, but often lobbying. America claims to defend democracy and human rights, yet it bankrolls a system of apartheid, illegal settlements, and endless bombings. Every missile that hits Gaza, paid for with American tax dollars. Every hospital destroyed, linked back to Washington. And this is why so many are asking, who's ruling who? Is America guiding Israel, or is Israel guiding America? Former U.S. officials like General David Petraeus have even admitted blind support for Israel is fueling anti-American sentiment worldwide. In other words, this isn't just about Palestine. It's about America's future. So, is Israel ruling the American government? The evidence is there. The billions in aid, the lobbying machine, the narrative control, the religious influence, and the political cost of saying no. A country of 9 million people dictating policies of a superpower of 330 million. But here's the real question. How long can this last? As more Americans wake up to the truth, as global outrage grows, silence becomes impossible. And when that silence finally breaks, the question won't just be about Israel. It'll be about America itself. Whose interests is Washington really serving? Its people or someone else's?
It's a pretty good video. Okay, let's switch over to my favorite Reddit. The leopards are eating my face. See what's going on there. Cuban man who tattooed Trump, oh, I saw this guy before, on his forum in support of his idol gets deported. Oh no, this is a different guy with a Trump tattoo. Another guy's got a Trump tattoo of his face on his chest, which, yeah, I wouldn't get a tattoo of my mother's face on my chest, much less Donald Trump. How much of a lunatic do you have to be to do that? Amazon Web Services suffers outage due to AI-generated software promoted by Amazon Web Services. Voters in key Pennsylvania swing district weigh in on Trump, gas prices, and war. Yeah, I already saw this, but let's see. Maybe we'll check it out. Most of them actually still like Trump, but maybe the obligatory commercial. course. Wouldn't be America without commercials.
7 years, gasoline prices and oil prices, not just the 3 states that I talk about, with $1.99 a gallon. How would you like to have $1.99? You know, that's the equivalent of a very major tax cut.
Well, welcome back. Now, that was President Trump in Pennsylvania back in December, touting low energy and gas prices. Today, the average price for a gallon of gas in Pennsylvania is $3.76, according to AAA. That's higher than last week, and it's up more than 60 cents from a month ago. NBC News senior national politics reporter
And this is a couple days old because it's actually more like $4 today.
John Allen has been speaking with Pennsylvania voters. He's been out kind of on a road trip here in Millersburg, about 25 miles north of Harrisburg. He joins me now. And John, I understand you're sort of in a Trump supportive part of Pennsylvania, and there are a lot of those in Pennsylvania. What are you hearing about how people there are feeling about gas prices, and are they factoring that in and how they view the war in Iran?
Well, first, Kelly, I would be remiss if I did not wish Kelly O'Donnell a happy St. Patrick's Day.
Right back at
So
you, my
happy St.
friend.
Patrick's Day.
I'm genetically required to be
Pennsylvania.
So this is what, a week old? St. Patrick's Day?
And I can see right now,
Okay.
President Trump feelings about gas prices, 9 cents a gallon here. I talked to folks.
It was a great decision. I think somebody else should have done it a couple of years ago, last 3 other presidents.
Are you willing to pay higher prices at the pump if that's the cost?
Yeah, I'm willing to pay a little more, yeah.
What do you think about the war?
I think he's doing the right thing. You know, the law.
Notice all these graybeards. I'm not a spring chicken myself, but these old Trump supporters are the most sycophantic Trump supporters.
It's going to help us out, because if they get nuclear weapons, we might not even be here in a couple.
Iran didn't have nuclear weapons. They weren't close to getting nuclear weapons. It's just a lie being told by the administration.
years. I think he's doing a good job.
So this is just one of those guys who believes all the bullshit he hears out of Pete Hegseth, Donald Trump, and all those fucking assholes in Washington.
Is it worth the rise in the price of gas?
Yeah, I think so.
What do you think about the U.S. decision to go into Iran?
I think we gotta do what we gotta do to keep the...
I think I smoked a pack of cigarettes today, and I'm wearing a Carhartt jacket, so you know exactly where I stand.
this country safe. So and if it means paying a little bit more in gas right now to keep everybody safe, then that's what we gotta do. And eventually they'll come back down.
And Kelly, most of the people we talked to were supportive of the war and willing to pay the higher gas prices for the war. Some of them because they believe in the goals of the war, others because they trust President Trump. But not everybody felt that way. Not everybody's excited about Trump here, and not everybody's planning to vote for Republicans in the midterms who supported Trump. Let's take a listen to a woman who we spoke with. If you could say something to President Trump who's going to hear you right now, what would it be?
You're a worthless pile of shit.
And you voted for him.
They're finally figuring it out.
Times. That was my bad. Apparently, I'm an idiot.
So it looks like Trump supporters have finally figured out that Trump doesn't give a shit about them. He's a billionaire. He's part of the Epstein class who just wants to abuse and use the middle class, and just like Joe Biden and the rest of them. But the Democrats aren't innocent, but Trump is the worst of the worst. Young Trump voters are scared to fight in the war they voted for. This ain't no game, bro. Gen Z crashes out over Trump-Iran war. Yeah, it's not Call of Duty. Jacob, a 28-year-old black man in Arizona who leans Republican on whether the U.S. should be supporting regime change in Iran. I don't know if I think the U.S. should be supporting regime change on the other side of the world. I just think let the people who live over there handle it and focus more on internal and domestic problems. We have enough of them here. A 21-year-old Asian man in Georgia who declined to be named but has voted Republican in the past on whether ground troops should be sent into Iran Hell no, are you crazy? You know, bro, Iran is filled with mountains and you already have troops dying. They're not even on the ground. That would be ridiculous. So actually, he's pretty smart because that is true. If you look back on the history of Iran, all armies who tried to take it got stuck in the mountains. Bryson, a 26-year-old white man in South Carolina who voted for Trump, asked to describe his reaction to the airstrikes on Iran. It was discussed because Trump said he wasn't going to start any new wars, so why would he bomb Iran if he wasn't going to start any new wars? The only reason I can think of is Israel. You got it, Jacob, Bryson. Back home, then on foreign wars, just leave the country, fucking be, and let them choose whoever they want, responded Austin, a 26-year-old white man in Pennsylvania. Why do we got to put our noses in it, bro? For real. How about we worry about our own economic bullshit? There you go. Already percolating, Trump promised lower on oil. That was a complete lie because now gas is like $4, said Tyler, a white 27-year-old in Colorado. He promised lower prices on oil, and he also said groceries would be cheaper. That's also a lie. Ensnared in his own Justice Department. It truly pisses me off, honestly, Bryson, the 26-year-old Trump voter said of the war. It makes me regret ever voting for him. It makes me regret even liking Trump, honestly. And with the whole Epstein shebang that's going on, he's really probably the worst pick to be president at the moment. Close, Bryson. He's the worst pick to be president in the history of the United States. He's a fucking idiot, a billionaire, a mama's boy, a nepo baby. There was Jacob, a 20-year-old white man in Tennessee who said he felt like Trump was trolling his generation. Like, no, this ain't no game, bro. Our lives are at stake. It's a game to Trump because he's a draft dodger. He's never going to go to war. His kid's not going to go to war. His grandkids are not going to go to war. Please stop raising gas prices. Summer is coming. Most of